Do you love what you do to earn money? So if you've got a job, do you love it? If you work for somebody else, do you love it? And I always ask this question, would you like to choose your own hours, be your own boss, work the hours that you want to work, earn the amount of money that you want to earn, go on holidays when it suits you and work with the people that you love to work with? And that sounds like having your own business. But is it possible to do all of those things if you work for somebody else? You might not want to have your own business, and you might be one of those very unique people that we don't hear of very often, that you love your job. And when I ask people, what do you do? Do you wake up every day passionate about the thing that you do to earn money? There are a unique small number of people who share with me, yes, I love my job. I love the company that I work for. I'm proud of my product or service, and I want to work there for a long time. But I often hear this, I love it there, but I would like to earn more money, or I'd like to buy a home, or I'd like to go on more expensive holidays, or I would like to send my kids to private boarding school, or I would like to, and I need to earn more money. So how do you earn more money? How do you become more valuable, better question, if you work for somebody else? And there's two parts to this. There's the people that share with me they would love to earn more money working for the company that they're in at the moment. And there's the business owners who would love to keep their great people because great people are very valuable. They're very hard to find. So and I sit in the middle because I'm an entrepreneur. So I've been very much involved with employing people. I have employed up to 200 people on my own team at the Max International Colleges. But I'm constantly associating with, experiencing, listening to, interviewing, involved with business people. And they share with me on a regular basis the reasons why they would pay somebody more money. And I often ask, if I'm sitting down with it, and I don't sit down, so that's a silly thing for me to say, if I'm experiencing the positivity of somebody who loves their company, who owns the company and loves it, I always ask them, what do you find valuable in a team player? Why would you pay them more money? And if somebody came to you and said, how do I earn more money? What would you share with them? Now, the interesting thing that I just shared there, if somebody came to you and said, how could I be more valuable so I can earn more money? None of the business people that I've ever spoken to have, in fact, they laugh at me when I say that. They share openly. Many people come to me and say, please pay me more money. I want to wage rise. Please give me more money. And sometimes not even please. But it never comes along with, I would like to add more value to this organisation. I would like to be more valuable to this business. What do I need to do so that I can be more valuable so that I can earn more money? Or I would like to earn more money because I would like to send my kids to private boarding school. I'd like to buy a new home. I'd like to buy a new car. This is how much I would like to earn, but I understand that to earn more money, I need to add value to the business. How can I do that? And not one business person, and this might have happened to you if you are a business person, but not one of the business people that I've spoken to in 30 plus years of talking to business owners have shared with me that anybody's ever come to them and said that. So could that be a great place to start? If you want to earn more money, if you want to become more valuable to an organisation, if you love the job that you're in, or you love the sporting team that you play on, or you are in an orchestra, or you're in a band, or you're involved in an organisation where you want to make more money, what do you need to do to make that happen? So first of all, I'd like to give you what business owners share with me is valuable. So if you're already doing these things, you're in a position now to ask for more money. But you may have to point out very clearly that you're doing these things, because if you work in a large organisation, or if the boss is not always in the business, the boss might not know that you're doing these things. So first and foremost, number one, is that you are adding value, profit, cash flow, money to the business. It's the number one across the board. It's not argued. You, of course, and every business owner shares this, you are valuable to the business if you add more money into the business. So if you create more customers, more clients, more members, bigger sales, more cash flow, more money, then of course you deserve a percentage of that. And wouldn't that be a great question to ask your boss? Ask the person who is responsible for paying you. I would like to know how I can bring more money into this organisation so that I can earn more money. Now that's why I call myself an entrepreneur, because I've never earned a wage or a salary, and I have never wanted to. All I've ever said to the business owners that I've been involved with is, what do you need? How much more money do you need? How many more members do you need? How many more clients do you need? How much more cash flow do you need? And then if I bring that or more, what percentage of that is going to be a win-win for both of us? So if I promise, if I create, if I do what I say I'm going to do, and the company now has more provable dollars, and that's one of the things that's really interesting. You actually have to show that this is what the company was earning before, this is how much more it's earning now, and I'm responsible for that, so I would like a percentage of that. The second part of that is you might not increase the cash flow or the profit, but you might decrease the expenses, which in itself is increasing profit. So you might go to your boss and say, I've got these great ideas on how to, for the organisation to decrease cost. And again, as an entrepreneur, this is something I've done my entire life. So I've got a better way to do the cleaning. I've got a better way to run the customer service system. I've got a better way to organise the team events. And I think it will save us X amount of dollars. Let me do the event, prove that I've saved us the money. It could be the way the photocopying's done. It could be the phone company that you use. It could be the air conditioning that you use. There's a whole heap of expenses in a business. And if you can reduce those expenses, then of course you become very valuable, and you might then ask for a percentage of that reduction. Now the double whammy is you increase profit and you decrease cost. And if you can do both of those, you become very valuable. Now this is what's really exciting. If you go to your boss or your the owner of the business, and you can show them clearly that you have increased profit and you've decreased cost, and they don't want to pay you any more money, that's awesome. It doesn't matter. You don't have to work there. You're an employee. You can resign straight away. But you now know that you can be very valuable to any organisation because you know how to increase profit and how to decrease expenses, which makes you very valuable to an organisation. So that's the number one. Bosses across the board, business owners across the board, share with me that if somebody can increase the profit in the organisation, decrease the cost, or a combination of both, they are of course worth more money. And an interesting side note that if you're working for somebody else you might not know, if you are valuable to an organisation, they don't want to lose you. I need to make that, it's really important. Can you imagine what it's like owning a business, trying to find great people? It's the toughest thing. So if you are valuable to the organisation, they don't want to lose you. Isn't that exciting? So, number one, more profit. Number two, decrease cost. The next thing is productivity. Now, productivity is affected by lots of things, and of course, productivity affects profit and it affects expenses, because if there are people in the organisation that are not very productive, it costs the company more money and it decreases the profit. So there's two things there. One is that you don't need to be managed. Now, most organisations, if there's a large team of people there is some kind of management required. Managers cost more money. Now, you might think, well, I want to become a manager and earn more money. But most organisations would love it if they didn't have to have middle-level management. And if you ever get into a global financial crisis, or there's a recession, or there's a time in the economic state of the country or the community or the world where it becomes acceptable to get rid of middle management, you'll find that's the first group to go. It's a fat layer of a company. Most companies would prefer not to have middle management because it costs a lot of money. So if you're the kind of person that doesn't need to be managed, if you've got a career description, a job description, you do that description, you do it to exactly what they want from you, then you are worth exactly what they'd said that they would pay you. And that's probably the thing that most people don't understand. You don't get paid more for doing your job well. You get paid what that position's worth. But just an interesting thing to take note of again, most businesses, if they're sharp and they know how business works, understand that most people don't give 100%. So they base their numbers, their bean counter, their accountant, their financial planner, bases the income that you would earn as an employee based on the fact that you probably won't give 100% all of the time. And in fact, as the organisation grows, most business owners are aware that the more franchises they have, or the more outlets they have, or the more shops they have, or the more people working for them, the less productive people become. So they accept that maybe we're going to pay you this much because we're only going to get 60% effort from you. We would like 100%, but we're only ever going to get 60. And really smart employers understand the 70-20-10 rule, which is 10% of people should always be on the way out and actually be leaving the organisation because they're not adding value. 70% do what they're supposed to do most of the time. And there's only 20% of people, and most business owners say that it's not 20, it's much smaller percentage than that, who do what they're supposed to do and or a little bit more. If you're an extra mile person, you're productive, you don't need to be managed, you do what's required on your career description and you go the extra mile, that is worth more money. So productivity from your part, but there's two parts to productivity. If you're productive, that's great, but what about your ability to inspire other people to be productive? So if you're part of the group that does a top job, goes the extra mile, does all the things that you're supposed to do, there's always going to be people that don't. So what's your ability to inspire that group of people? What are your leadership skills to inspire that group of people to step up? Because I'll reverse that. If this is when you're not valuable, if you gossip, if you criticize, if you pull people down, if somebody's being bullied at work, if they don't feel appreciated, if they don't have friends, they're not very productive. If they're stressed, if they've got challenges at home, anything that goes on in their life that reduces their productivity at work reduces the profit of the organisation, because productivity relates to profit. So what can you do as an employee to, number one, be very productive yourself, which might be simple. You just live the example and people have to step up because you're the best person that works there. And that's the question I always ask. If I went to your boss right now, to the owner of your company and said, I mentioned your name and said, this person, are they the best person that's ever worked for you? Are they the best employee that you've ever had? Should the answer be yes? And if the answer is yes, then A, they don't want to lose you, and B, they would be very happy to invest more money in you. It's just a matter of working out, how can I add more value? How can I add more productivity? How can I help other people be more productive? The other one that always comes up is loyalty, and loyalty comes in all different forms. So profit's number one, productivity number two. Loyalty is very hard to find. It seems that we live in a world now where people swap jobs all the time. If they don't like the boss or they have a bad day, they go find another job. They're constantly looking at the seek ads for new jobs. But if a boss or an owner of a business knows that you're loyal to the organisation, to the company, to the team, and that you want to stay there, and I use a sporting team for example, there's a lot of people who play on sporting teams who just keep swapping teams all the time because they want to earn more money. But if a coach has somebody on their team who wants to play for that team, we call them a one team or one lifetime team player. So for my entire lifetime as a sporting person, I played only on that team. That becomes very valuable, and it's very obvious that you're loyal to that team. So loyalty again comes in two forms though. One is that yes, you want to stay there and that you love the organisation. But the second thing is that you're always doing the right thing by the organisation and you are sharing the organisation positively with your world. If you talk negatively about your boss, if you talk negatively about the business, if you complain about the staff, if you complain about the conditions, if you whinge about the coach, they're all things that detract from loyalty. So if you are loyal to an organisation and you're proud to work there and you share with everybody the positive parts of that organisation, not the negative ones, you become very valuable. So some things to consider, and if you're going to go to your boss and ask for more money, it's not about asking for more money. Please, I'm sure I can't express that with any amount of passion and enthusiasm that would be enough. It's not about earning more money. It's about how can I become more valuable? Because the money that you're earning at the moment has been counted. That's what they think you're worth. Now, that might sound very uncomfortable and confrontational, but if they thought you were worth more, they'd be paying you more. And I always ask this question, are there people at your job, in your organisation, on your team that earn more money than you do? And the answer is probably yes. So the question is simply, what do I need to do to become more valuable, more productive? How can I share my loyalty? And here's the beautiful question. What do I need to do to be the best person that's ever worked here? What are the characteristics? What are the traits? What do you need for me to show you that I am the best person that you'll ever employ? And just as a very interesting side note and something to be very careful of, please don't tell your boss what you think they should do or what you think the organisation should do to change, because that can come across very confrontational. It can be offensive, and it can turn people off you very quickly. Remember, asking questions is the ultimate communication tool, yeah? So if you're going to your boss, to the owner of the business, and you want to earn more money, the magic question is, what do I need to do to become more valuable to this organisation? What do I need to do to be more productive? What do you need from me so that you know that this is the place that I want to work? I hope you can hear my puppy dogs. They are the most passionate, positive people in my life. And they add value to my life every single day. And it's like when they look in my eyes, it's like, Mummy, how can we add more value to your life? Well, may we be more like puppy dogs when it comes to our career path, our job, adding value to the business that you're in. So if you don't want to own your own business and you want to work for somebody else, how can you show your boss, the owner of your business, the coach, the team manager, the person responsible for handing out the money, how you can be more valuable, how you can add more value to the business, how you can show that you can increase profit, decrease costs, and show your loyalty. And if you can do those things, I promise you, every single business owner that I've ever spoken to have shared with me that if they've got that kind of person on their team, in their organisation, in their business, they want to keep them. So may you be the person that adds value to your business, to your world, to your team, to your organisation. May you increase profit, decrease costs, and be productive and be loyal. And you might be very surprised that the amount of money that you earn can be even much more than if you own your own business, because you can choose your own hours, be your own boss, go on holidays when it suits you, earn the amount of money that you want to earn, and work with the people that you want to work with, even if you don't own the business. And I'm living proof of that. Now, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't work for salary or wages, and I never have. But I can, every single organisation I've ever been involved with, I can always prove to them, this is how I'm adding value to the business. This is how I'm adding profit to the business, cash flow to the business. This is how I'm decreasing costs. This is how I'm productivity, how I'm improving the productivity of other people. And this is my loyalty to the organisation. And I'm living, breathing proof that you can choose your own hours, be your own boss, work when you want to work, holiday when it suits you, and love your life doing what you love. Isn't that living life to the max? Thank you for coming to Romax. My name's Rowie, and may you have a career that you love and earn the amount of money that suits your lifestyle. Wouldn't that be awesome? Super duper doo. How are you? Live your life to the supermax doing what you love. Woohoo!